community engagement and public participation in research are important in generating knowledge that can help translate research discoveries into routine practice. 1 in 5 Americans live in rural areas, but often don't participate in initiatives because they live far from academic medical centers. Researchers at the Oregon Health and Science University developed the CHIP to CHIRP program to expand research partnerships into rural communities. CHIP to CHIRP builds on 4 well-established Community Health Improvement Partnerships, or CHIPs, by adding research training to transform the groups into Community Health Improvement and Research Partnerships, or CHIRPs. CHIP to CHIRP builds trusting relationships and establishes a foundation for sustained research collaborations.
Trust is a really important component of relationships in general, and I think in participating in CHIP to CHIRP and in participating in community academic research partnerships in general, it could either enhance trust or it could undermine trust. And a lot of that is based on commitment that's set up front and communication about what each partner needs.
Community partners participate in CHIP to CHIRP to develop skills, understand how evidence-based programs are developed, and learn how to evaluate what works and what doesn't for their local communities.
The main reason I want to participate in community-based research is that I live in the community and I feel like the organization that I work with is always taking on projects, and my concern is how to do them so that they're fundable projects. We have data that emerges from that project that really shows that we've been effective in the programs that we're doing.
The CHIP to CHIRP program kicked off with a symposium at the Oregon Health and Science University. Community members went on a guided bench-to-bedside tour across campus. They toured basic science labs, clinical research facilities, and attended presentations by population and community researchers to learn more about how research translates from test tubes into our everyday lives. After the presentation, community members participated in a facilitated meeting with potential academic research partners. Together, the groups explored best practices for building research partnerships in rural areas.
One of the things we really did in CHIP to CHIRP is talk about these are the demands that are on an academic partner, as well as we had the community share about what are the pressures and what are their concerns and needs. And we did this at our initial symposium where we brought community members to OHSU as well as academicians to come together in an afternoon to discuss this. And so really establishing, I think, a shared language for what are some of the different demands on these stakeholders, and then how can we ideally meet a happy medium where we can come together so that each partner can have, their needs and their goals met. I think ideally that does build trust because you work together, you might have some challenging conversations, but you move forward.
Over the next 4 months, CHIRP members participated in 8 research training modules designed to help them understand basic research and prepare them for collaborative research partnerships.
Well, the training that we got about research was a real eye-opener, I think, in how you have to go about it. I think it's important for people to understand what it takes to do research, and hopefully as a basis for future research into health and things relating to it.
As part of the program, each CHIRP group received a small grant to develop a 3-month pilot study addressing childhood obesity, a health concern all 4 communities independently identified as a local problem. The pilot study allowed community members to participate as stakeholders in all phases of the research process, from idea generation through data collection, analysis, and dissemination. The 4 pilot projects explored chocolate milk removal in school lunches, looked at barriers and facilitators to using recreation services, tested an educational curriculum that teaches high school students to read nutrition labels and shop for healthy foods, and explored the effectiveness of pick-of-the-month food flyers and tasting tables on eating habits. The results from the pilot studies are being used to inform school and community policies.
It's given us a core of information which I hope will enable us to keep doing these kinds of studies, because I think we can have a real impact on the community. We've been given a lot of tools, a lot of techniques, and I feel much more capable of participating in another study.
We like to think that we can help provide some information, like you said, for the field, but also regionally to maybe make some policy changes.
Oregon Health and Science University researchers are working to connect CHIRP groups with investigators from around the state with similar research interests and to expand this approach into other communities.
I think the group is excited to go further and try to keep expanding on the research we're doing. So I highly encourage people to get involved in processes like this.
No, I love local research. I think it's cool.